Episode 767.
Looks like everyone came prepared.
Sinlu had already warned everyone about this problem when the dungeon was first announced. But advice is one thing, actually getting the gear together was another matter entirely. Looks like these guys actually pulled it together. They've all got a full set of gear that blocks Ralden's dragon fear. Of course, this dungeon was already a bit outdated, so the corresponding gear wouldn't be too expensive.
Right.
Someone in the group spoke up. Sinlu then said,
But immunity to Dragon's Might isn't everything. There are a few of the boss's attacks you'll still want to keep an eye on. You've probably all read the guides already, but I'll go over it anyway. First, the secondary attack. It's a single target attack. The tell is when it lowers its head. The attack range covers 12 body lengths in all directions. It hits hard, and has a chance to inflict a level 70 bleed. So everyone needs to pay attention, especially the cloth armor classes. If you get bitten, you need immediate healing for a chance to recover.
Got it.
2 players in the squad, both wearing plate armor, quickly acknowledged the order.
Then there's Wing Strike. It swings its bone wings to attack. The tell is obvious, but the variety of angles makes it hard to read. Different moves, different dodges, different safe zones. Hard to sum up in one go, you'll need to keep your eyes open. Then there's the tail strike, which also comes in several forms: sweeping, whipping, and thrusting. The sweeping strike covers a wide area, making it hard to escape its attack range, but with good judgment, you can dodge it. As for the thrust attack, it's a piercing strike, fast to execute, hard to spot, and difficult to deal with. Everyone, try not to stack positions to minimize damage. As for thrust attacks, they're piercing strikes, fast to execute, hard to spot, and difficult to counter. Try not to stack your positions to minimize casualties. Finally, there's the breath attack, Decaying Breath. It's a frontal cone-shaped skill, inverted triangle in shape. The area isn't fixed. The larger the area, the longer the cast time, but the damage is always the same. Aside from the fixed damage, its main effect inflicts a 50% reduction to the target's maximum health for 10 seconds. This status can't be dispelled, which is a real problem. If you get hit again with only 50% health, you'll likely be one-shot. So anyone hit by Decaying Breath, immediately withdraw from the fight circle and wait for the debuff to expire before re-engaging. Got it?
In that case, what happens if the MT gets hit?
Someone asked. The main tank always faces the boss head-on. Breath attacks like that are nearly impossible to dodge. There's no such thing as a main tank leaving the fight circle. Wherever he goes, the boss follows.
Normally this boss needs an off-tank. When the main tank gets hit by the breath, the off-tank just grabs aggro and pulls it over. But we don't need to worry about that. Kudu can handle 10 seconds at 50% health, so everyone just relax.
Sinlu said. The crowd finally understood, and naturally they couldn't help but shower Crispin with admiration. Kudo had probably been waiting for this moment all along. Finally, his lucky day had come. Finally, Shinlu went over the strategy one more time. Once everyone was ready, they prepared to engage. Kui naturally charged forward first, not forgetting to glance sideways. And sure enough, there was Wudi Zui Junlang following right behind again. Now that everyone knew he wouldn't lose aggro, Kyudio had no room to complain. But the final boss wasn't like those minor ones before it. Its attack patterns were varied and devious, and aside from its bite, it had almost no single target skills. While attacking the MT, it was bound to hit the others too. At this moment, Kui Du desperately wished that this guy would get smacked all the way to outer space by ancient dragon Ralden's tail. Kuido charged forward and immediately slapped down a forced aggro skill, Provoke. The ancient dragon Ralden's pitch-black eyes suddenly flared with ashen green fire. The dragon's head dipped, and it lunged straight at Kuido, jaws snapping shut. Kuidu was ready. He braced his shield against the snapping fangs, blocking the bite attack cleanly. No bleeding status effect. That was one of the shield's greatest strengths. Crispin swung his sword back, slamming it hard against the dragon's skull. Metal clashed against dry bone, the sound piercing and grating, so unpleasant it made Crispin wince. But just then, a figure descended from the sky, gripping a massive battle axe with both hands. As the ancient dragon Ralden finished its bite and hadn't yet pulled its head back, the axe came crashing down onto its forehead. The grating clash grew even louder, so jarring that Kudu felt as if his very soul shuddered. That heroic leap and cleave from Invincible Most Handsome felt like a mental assault, and a real one at that. The attacked ancient dragon, Ralden, lifted its head. Both of its bony wings snapped up and swept outward in unison. At almost the same moment, Crispy Bean and Woody Zui Junlang surged forward together, darting directly beneath the ancient dragon, a cramped space the simultaneous sweep of both bone wings couldn't reach. But with two heavy knights crammed into that spot, it was starting to feel a little tight.
Don't get in my way.
Kudu watched this annoying guy and his name, always bobbing around him left and right. It was driving him crazy. Yishu didn't answer. The moment the bone wings swept past, he immediately lunged diagonally.
You noob, go to hell.
Seeing this, Crispin's heart soared with joy. After the bone wings sweep out, they have to retract, and that retraction deals damage too. Charging out now would be far too early. This mistake, countless players make it the first time they face this boss.
Watch out!
Xin Lu, who had also witnessed the scene, quickly called out. A DPS player as aggressive as Yi Shu who never pulls aggro might draw some envy from other damage dealers, but to a party leader, tank, or healer, they're an absolute treasure. But in this party, the one who hated that DPS the most was the MT. Kudu was decked out in top-tier gear, so whether the DPS pulled aggro or outdamaged him, either way it was a massive blow to his pride. But this particular damage dealer was just that impressive enough to make Kudu's heart race with unease. He could already tell the only reason the other guy hadn't pulled aggro was that he was holding back, and it was precisely because he was holding back that Woody Zui Junlang's DPS was currently sitting below Kudu's. But if he'd slipped even a little, both of those face-losing things would have already happened. So an elite DPS that should have taken the pressure off the MT ended up making Kudu feel even more stressed. He wished that Invincible Most Handsome would just drop dead already. Now the very thing he had been hoping for had finally come to pass. Invincible Most Handsome had chosen this exact moment to break formation. Jinlu shouted out his concern. But Kudu knew full well that by the time the warning came, it was already too late to react. Forward, backward, left, or right, none of them could outpace the snap of Ralden's bone wings.
Die, die, die.
Kudu couldn't exactly show her excitement, but her heart kept chanting it over and over. In the blink of an eye, the retracted bone wings had already obscured Invincible Most Handsome's form, and the faint sound of impact could be heard. To Kudu, that sound was pure music. The grating clatter of bone and metal he usually despised now struck his ears as deeply satisfying.